Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the cluster surround for my 1996 240SX. I'm taking the vent from a JDM console that works with a digital climate control setup, and I'm putting it in my USDM cluster surround. So I'm just kind of showing you what I'm going to be doing. I cut it out. I have it all mapped here how I want to roll, and I'm going to plastic weld it into place. So I originally was going to do like this whole how-to video on how to do this, and then I found out somebody makes a product where you can just plop it into the cruise control hole. So that was awesome to find out after I did all this work and spent all the money on the opposite cluster. But previously I had done the digital climate control install, and then I gave somebody that vent. So here's just some wire that you use when you're doing plastic welding. Basically, you put it in between the two surfaces, kind of like drywall tape that you want to plastic weld together. And the plastic will melt between that mesh and create obviously I guess a reinforced bind between the two materials. So I'm just kind of giving an overview here. And the reason why I'm doing a voiceover for this is because I just brought my newborn home from the hospital when I did all this, and she's kind of in the background crying, so I just figured that was going to be distracting for the video. I sped up the work here, and I put a little background music on it, so I'll just go ahead and let this play. But it's just showing what I did to get it to weld. So yeah, you just heat it up, and it just starts coming through the holes. And you just kind of repeat this process. And originally I should have just did this all on the back end side, but whatever, I started off on the front and that's the only piece that I did, and then I just realized what I've done and started doing it on the back side. What I have in my hand here is called Fiberflex. It's basically like plastic and fiberglass mixed together, and I purchased this originally to do a dashboard restoration. But in the middle of my dashboard restoration, a clean dashboard came up for sale for $1,000. So instead of rushing myself through a dashboard restoration to get my car back on the road, I just purchased a clean dashboard. So yeah, I just adding material here, adding material to reinforce this, and then I'm gonna go ahead and blend it down with sandpaper. I ended up using a sanding disc. I was just doing this like at 1 or 2 in the morning. So I have some footage obviously missing from this. So I'll go straight into a slideshow later. Kind of shows like where my final product was before I mounted it in the car. And then I used some techniques for interior restoration, like using a piece of leather to press a pattern back into the plastic after painting it with interior paint. The final product doesn't look horrible from, like 10 feet away or anything like that, but I mean, up close, you can kind of tell there was a piece of plastic grafted into that. It doesn't really look 100% OEM, which, I'm a perfectionist by nature, but it's also hard to expect perfection your first time doing something. And again, once I finished this whole project, I found out somebody kind of sells an insert, so I'll show you the final product from today, actually. Taking some quick video. I'll show you guys the final product. So S14 steering wheel I recovered. All the white stuff is fiberglass from when I was doing my hood pins. But this is the final product of that vent. Obviously the texture is not what I wanted it to end up being. I planned on reshooting it, but just decided to mount it in the car just to get it back together. And so there you have it, and pictured here is the insert sold by Breakbeat Goods. Looks like this item's still available if you decide to tackle this. I do have an entire entry on my blog, how to wire up a digital climate control and get everything working, so if you would like to check that out, I'll go ahead and I'll add that to the video description. Peace.